Hey guys, it's Sarah. I'm just getting ready to go to a new doctor's appointment. Like, the doctor is new to me. And I was just thinking and wondering how you guys think or like what you guys do. Because I know that you guys, most of my audience are people who have lived with chronic illness. And there's been so many times that we've been told that it's in our head. But here's the thing, like, you go see the physical doctor and they're like, oh yeah, we don't know what's wrong with you. You have too many things wrong with you. So therefore, it must be in your brain. But then you go and see a psychiatrist or psychologist and they're like, what do you eat? Like, how's they ask you a lot of physical questions just to make sure that there's nothing wrong with your body physically. And then, at that point, they're like, well, no, nobody else is going to take care of you. So I guess we need to. So that's kind of where I am right now. And my hair's dripping. So that's where I am right now. I'm actually on Wellbutrin. I've been on it for a month, and I need to stop it because while it was really helpful to help with like scatterbrains and focus, I really only saw the benefit for a week or two. But the onboarding of it was horrible. And then now I want to offboard. My primary says I need to take it really slow because of how I onboarded. But here's the thing. I need to stop it because I'm having an issue with my dopamine or my levodopa. I'm having like double vision. So today I'm getting ready to go see my new optometrist. And it reminds me of how important first impressions are and how similar going and seeing a new doctor is to going on a first date or going on a job interview, because those first impressions really matter. When I was about 30, I went and saw a doctor. She was going to be my new primary care physician, and I only saw her 2 or 3 times. I think it was probably twice, and then we had like an email interaction. But she literally told me, so my stomach was killing me. This was before I found out about my salicylate sensitivity. I had all these reactions, and I was just really, really sick. Everything that I would eat, I already had been through the GI gamut, right? I'd been treated for Helicobacter pylori like 4 to 6 years before that. I had traveled to Costa Rica. I had, just all sorts of horrible stomach pain and just all sorts of symptoms. She told me that I looked like a perfectly healthy young lady and she didn't know what to do with me. That was my first appointment. I was so upset. I did ask her to do blood work because I have chronically low vitamin D and iron. And so she at least pulled that, and no surprise, I was deficient in both. So at least there was something that she could interact with me. And that's the reason I think I had an appointment after that, like by email. They weren't doing telemed then. So I did get some instructions for iron and vitamin D, but that kind of thing drives me crazy. And I just think about my last optometrist. I've always had pretty good eyesight. I used to have like chronic dry eye and issues with that. And then I also have my blepharospasm, which is my dystonia, where my eyes just close involuntarily for long periods of time. So I was having some issues from that, which basically make me kind of functionally blind. If my spasms are too strong, my eyes will be closed for too long of a period of time. So like I couldn't even drive without being medicated. They were so bad. But the last optometrist I saw, and it's like you have pretty good eyes. Like I have a little astigmatism. I'm getting older, so I knew like my reading prescription needed to probably go up. But I was so dismissed. And it was just for an eye appointment. All I wanted, I had already tried a progressive lens, and I used to work in an optical. Like I know the jargon. I know the people, I know the prescriptions, I know like the getting used to it, but I was so dismissed. I got really upset. So I said that I didn't want a progressive lens because I tried them. They made me very dizzy and I was unable to use them at all. Like it was just so frustrating. And he basically told me that I needed to get used to it. Well, I know that because I used to work in optical. I wore these glasses for 6 weeks and I was so sick from them and I was so frustrated. Here I spent my money and I still got the thing filled, and like I have to remember what my body composition and the way it functions is really important. When I went on a dopamine treatment with levodopa, this is my herbal supplement. I do have a pharmaceutical version of it, but this here keeps my blepharospasm, my dystonia in check. And so supplementing with levodopa not only helped my muscle spasms, but it helped all sorts of other things, including like how I feel and the world around me. I used to bump into things all the time. I used to be really clumsy, used to have a hard time, like dropping things all the time. And I know that's like just a normal human trait, but it's so amazing that when you accept it as just a normal human trait, you don't realize like how bad it is for you until you start something else like dopamine, and all of a sudden all of those problems went away. I have like so many fewer bruises now. Like I don't run into walls and doors as much, and I just feel so much better. So I think that's one reason why I don't like progressives, is like that place of you in the world is really affected, and it just doesn't work with me. So I told my last optometrist that I didn't want progressives, and he still wrote. I asked him for bifocals, and he was like, you just need to practice with them. And I was like, I practiced with the last one for 6 weeks. Well, anyway, I left the optometrist upset and felt like I was not heard, and I left with a reading prescription and a progressives prescription. And now it's been like 2 or 3 years, and I never got that progressive lens fixed, and now I'm off to a new optometrist. Today we'll have plenty to talk about because of my double vision due to taking Wellbutrin. I've found both people with Parkinson's and dopamine issues, levodopa issues, and then also people on Wellbutrin, which the reason I was willing to go on it is because it's a dopamine reuptake inhibitor, so I was hoping that it may help me with my muscle spasms and maybe I could take less levodopa. Anyway, I have found case studies where people have been on Wellbutrin and they have double vision and they stop and then it goes away. So we'll have plenty to talk about in my new optometrist appointment. But I'm just kind of nervous. I've been so put off. And then some doctors are amazing. I have some amazing providers, and I will hang on to them until they quit. I don't want to look. It's like, you don't want to look too healthy because then you'll get the response for what I got. You look like a perfectly healthy 30-year-old woman. It's like, I wouldn't be here asking you for help if I wasn't. And then you don't want to look like you're too sick and you have too many problems, because then you might be a hypochondriac, or it might be in your head, or it might be your period or your hormones or whatever. Ladies, I know that's a thing. So it's like trying to find that sweet spot between like looking too good and looking too bad. And so, that's just the anxiety that I have about today's doctor's appointments. And if you've had any relatable stuff like that, leave it in the comments. Know that I understand, and I am currently there. So that's what I'm doing today. Take care. Bye.